Good evening. Welcome everyone to the Poetry Lounge. We're excited to welcome Deborah Elmore. Poet Deborah Elmore is with us this evening, and she's going to start out by reading some poems, and we look forward to hearing from everyone here tonight, and I hope that all of you watching enjoy it. So without further ado, Poet Deborah Elmore.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and again, thank you for coming out to the Poetry Lounge. I'm going to start off by reading 3 poems, and after that, everybody can get up, whoever's going to read, they can get up and share their poetry. I usually start off with my signature poem, which is called The Audition. I know that many of you have heard this before, but I'm just going to read it again. I like to start with it. The Audition. Next! Come on, little lady, keep the line moving through. You have exactly 2 minutes to show us what you can do. What is it that you said you'll be doing? What is it that you said you did? A dance, juggle balls, sing a song, whatever the case, just move it along. I'm a busy man, and I don't have all day long. A poem? Poetry? Is that what I heard you say? Oh boy, another starving artist looking for a handout today. Look, little lady, poetry is a good gesture, but this is not a 3rd grade play. We're looking for some real talent, so you should probably be on your way. Now just hold on a minute, mister, because I really traveled quite a ways. And the ad in the newspaper clearly states no discrimination in any ways. All I need is an opportunity, just a few minutes of your time. I am so sick and tired of being pushed and shoved to the back of every line. You see, poetry can be beautiful if you would just listen with your heart, but it's people like you who won't give people like me a chance for a brand new start. Just give me a chance, mister, because I have been blessed in a special way. And if this poem that I read doesn't touch your heart, then I promise I'll just be on my way. And I'm just going to have to end right there because I don't have the other sheet. Okay. But thank you. That's the audition.
It's a wonderful poem. I remember because you read it last time, and I loved it. And it's got a surprise.
Yes, it does.
But I guess it's on the missing page.
Page somewhere. I'm sorry about that. This next poem is called Self-Defense. He was beating, punching, and kicking on me. He had damaged both eyes, and I could barely see. Down to blood, sweat, and tears is how this man physically and emotionally reduced me. Vivid images of my life now flash before my eyes. The times when I was happy, growing up as a child, remembering my wedding day as I walked down the aisle. He had me pinned in a corner, or banging my head up against the wall, in between a rock and a hard place, with no one to hear my calls. The vicious names that he was calling me cut through me like a knife. On the other hand, it really didn't matter, because he was not worthy of a dog for a wife. You see, he treated me like a chained slave every day and every night. So everyone, this is my story. This is my plight. To physically do harm to any person just is not me. Rather to step on the smallest insect, I would rather set it free. This is my nature and how God made me. To live and let live has always been a favorite cliche to me. But him, he never believed in any cliches, just another reason for him to kick, spit, and hit on me. I'll never forget that fateful night. I begged and pleaded with him to spare my life. Please, God, while I'm down on my knees, don't allow this man to take my life from me. I have children at home, not fully grown, which solely depend upon me. Just for a second, God ceased all time, giving me ample opportunity to grab the knife and gather up my mind. It's ironic because I'm behind bars, you say, but never in my entire life have I ever felt so free. The judge was lenient and gave me 3, knocked down to probation and community service. I am now at home with my family. And never again will this man ever beat on me. It was self-defense. One more, and then I'm going to call up, I don't y'all have the list? And I know I had trouble with the name the last time. She was here.
Her Miller? And I have
Rose.
Rita or Rose?
Yeah.
Rose, okay.
Yeah.
I
They're
think
not
you're
reading.
first
I don't
and then
think they're reading.
Pardon?
They're not reading.
I'm not gonna read.
Oh, okay.
The only reader we
My
have is
Carmella?
Carmella's not gonna read.
Oh, but I don't have my contact information.
Would you like to?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'll read after you.
All right, so I'm gonna do one more, and then we're gonna call her up.
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure I got all the pages. Okay, so this one is called The Priceless Antique. Dusty, unkempt, disheveled, abandoned, deserted, discarded, neglected, cast off, forsaken, unwanted, alone. Placed in the corner of a room, no value at all, like an unpolished silver spoon. A crumpled sheet of paper, an old broken chair, a can with a dent in it. Who really cares? Merely an antique, but somehow it seems so unfair. 50 years ago, this same antique was in mint condition. Not a blemish, a rip, or a tear. You would have given anything for this type of jewel, just to have it near. This beautiful antique was special, worthy of the best. It stood out with the elite, always an honored guest. It should have gained value, but somehow diminished instead. Treated more like a dusty book on a shelf, one that you've already read. I suggest that you look up its value, visit a museum or an antique show, find out its history, the meaning of its origin, see where it has traveled, study where it has been, because treating it this way is an undeniable sin. If you would humble yourself, look closely, then you will see that God calls this creation special. He calls it an elder, a senior, a high-ranking human being. Remember to honor thy elders, as a rose is still a rose, a king is still a king, and a queen is always a queen. The priceless antique. All right. Okay, so next we have you.
Next we have me.
Somebody give me the sheet.
That's okay, I got this.
That was good.
Thank you so much, Deborah, that was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Costantino.
Yeah, I like that.
I've been here before, and I'm debating whether I should read something that I read last time, or just do something that I haven't done. So I found this in my stuff today, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this one out, because I was looking for this poem, and I have to give it a new title, and I haven't got the new title yet, so I'm just gonna launch into it and see how you feel.
Okay.
And just to give you a little background, I started writing this piece when I was taking care of my mom. I was part of her hospice team. And it was very difficult. And so the only way that I could keep my mind alive was to write while I was taking care of her and my brother as well. So I stitch my days together with words, transliterations of narratives too long to tease out of the chaos of aging. My shoulders ache. I'm fit to be tied, trying to keep mother this side of sane and my brother dry-eyed. Who will read my drivel, steeped in language from an era when poems were instilled in us, committed to memory? Our young mouths and tongues forced to shape and express the sounds of words and sentiments we barely understood. We fell in love with the music of the word before we knew its true meaning. This is the blanket of my nights, the gauze over my eyes, the fabric of my days, the filter of my light, the darkness of my joy, the pity of my life. I have stories to tell, but not the time to set the stage with players for epic plays. This poetry is the only tapestry I can raise. So, I appreciate that. One of the poems that I wrote when COVID first started in New York, I was in New York at that time, and we had just buried my mom, and it was 2020, and spring and summer was here, and everybody was hopeful that this thing, the pandemic, was going to go away. So we were all fools, and this is the poem that I wrote at that time. It's called Purple Choristers, New York City Central Park. Half a century of fierce winds and winged pollinators scattered purple bells across continents into Olmsted's Central Park in New York City. They arrived like royal choristers, infiltrating the Upper West Side in the area of forested speckled granite near the old stone walls. Cascading down thick greens, they peeked out along the running paths, startling masked New Yorkers breaking quarantine. In the sheep meadow, odd formations of bodies lay the mandated 6 feet apart. These prostrate revelers were auguring the imminent summer solstice. Days of high heat might kill the coronavirus behind the global pandemic of 2020. Onlookers surrounding the reservoir blinked with hope and prayed for relief. The tiny purple bells at their feet seemed to peel in the late day breeze. I'm sorry. The sun god had thrown his diamonds upon the waters, and they were dancing. It's as if the human sacrifices required by a cruel and ancient deity was almost done, but not yet the grief. Not yet the grief. So I knew about the number of people we had lost, and I also did not know how much longer that COVID was going to be with us. So this is kind of a draft, so that's that.
Very nice.
Thank you. So, one of my favorite poems that I have been struggling with for a long time, and I think I finally got the final version, but I said that every time I did it. So, this is my new final version. It's called The Legend at Runner's Tree. Dear friend, let me catch my breath. Let me rest my hand against your crenellated skin. You breathing out, me breathing in, our symbiotic bond without formal consecration or useless conversation. When the dinosaurs left, mine crawled out of the slime. Some, bereft of their gills, flew into your arms. Others, willful, then erect, survived on your abundant foliage and fruit. Until nearly all our dreams were shattered by the heat no one could yet speak of, but the sediments later told. Your resilient forebears pressed themselves down into the cold underground. My ancestors scattered, inventing language, commerce, and the arts, and a love that barely mattered. Somehow, we are both still here. You part of the verdant global lungs that buoyed me up on my run today. You still breathing out to such good effect. Me taking a moment to reflect and catch your breath, dear friend. Oh, I'm excited. So I'll do one more. It's called Exigent Habits. And this one also I was working on, and I finally decided I was going to do it as a piece specifically to be performed. And so that changed the poetry, because usually when I write poetry, it's a very private thing. I write plays which are meant to be performed, but I don't generally write poetry to be performed. But this one, for some reason, this one crossed the line, so let's try it. Everybody's got an addiction, everybody's got a craving, everybody's talking about I'm addicted to, can't stop drinking, I can't stop smoking, and so on and so forth. Well, these are my bad habits. Beauty is my weakness. I need to see the flowers before me when I wake and eat. I need to read the poets before I sleep. Otherwise, I'd rather sleep than wake to a world without them. I need to muse about the ancients and the discovery of the first word, and how the flute mimicked the bird, and then the rhymes that married the music from the trees became the songs that got us all off our knees. These are habits I will never break. They are exigent and essential, and they have become my strength. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very nice. She's good, yeah.
Thank you very much, Laura. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Great job. All right, so next I think we're going to have Cynthia,
Yeah.
our host. She's going to come up and share some poetry with us. Let's give her a hand.
So I wanted to share a poem by Walt Whitman, who is one of my favorite poets. This one is called I Saw in Louisiana a Live Oak Growing. I saw in Louisiana a live oak growing. All alone stood it, and the moss hung down from the branches. Without any companion it grew there, uttering joyous leaves of dark green. And its look, rude, unbending, lusty, made me think of myself. But I wondered how it could utter joyous leaves standing alone there, without its friend near, for I knew I could not. And I broke off a twig with a certain number of leaves upon it, and twined around it a little moss, and brought it away, and I have placed it in sight in my room. It is not needed to remind me as of my own dear friends, for I believe lately I think of little else than of them. Yet it remains to me a curious token. It makes me think of manly love. For all that, and though the live oak glistens there in Louisiana, solitary in a wide flat space, uttering joyous leaves all its life, without a friend, a lover near, I know very well I could not. And I'm going to read one more by Whitman. This one is called Aboard a Ship's Helm. Aboard at a ship's helm, a young steersman steering with care. Through fog on a sea coast dolefully ringing, an ocean bell, oh, a warning bell, rocked by the waves. Oh, you give good notice indeed, you bell by the sea reefs ringing. Ringing, ringing to warn the ship from its wreck place. For as on the alert, O steersman, you mind the loud admonition. The bows turn, the freighted ship tacking speeds away under her gray sails. The beautiful and noble ship with all her precious wealth speeds away gaily and safe. But oh, the ship, the immortal ship! Oh, ship, aboard the ship, skip of the body, ship of the body, ship of the soul, voyaging, voyaging, voyaging. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing those poems with us. So, I basically write about everything that touches my life. This next poem is called Heart Condition, because I've ran into some mean people in my life. Okay? So, I'm sorry to inform you, sir, but you have a bad heart. An important artery is clogged and your blood pressure is off the chart. You have been warned and warned time and time again to stop taking life for granted, to stop your outrageous sins. Stop being mean and stop acting hard. Help someone else in need. Let down your guard. Your primary condition is the fact that you're simply mean. You're in love with your money and all material things. You won't share or lend a hand to the poor. Your only concern for life is more, more, more. Your condition is quickly progressing, going from bad to worse. To be honest with you, you have about as much chance as a snowball in hell if you don't follow procedure so that you can heal and get well. First, we gave you medication to help thin in your blood, hoping that this technique would help you to start showing some love. Then, we put you on a strict diet consisting of support and care, but that didn't help either. Sorry to say, you leave us no choice. We are going to have to do a bypass straight to the heart. We're going to ask God to remove the stony one, and with His grace and mercy, impart. Our prognosis is that nothing is hopeless, but you must stop making meanness an art. Heart condition.
Oh, that sounds good.
Let's start making meanness and art. I like that. Oh, I like that.
Okay, so the next one is called Beauty is the Beast. We all know the song. Tale as old as time, tune as old as song, bittersweet and strange, finding you can change, learning you were wrong, certain as the sun, rising in the east, beauty is the beast. Tall, dark, and handsome, that was me. I dressed in the best of clothes for all the entire world to see. I attended the finest schools, always Ivy League. After all of these years of living in this majestic castle, I admit, I'm ashamed of myself. But alas, I did wake up and take a good look at myself. I always thought that I was better than other people because of the way I grew up. Little did I know that we all bleed red whenever we get cut. How could I have been so shallow? Not a care in the entire world. I believed that life's playground belonged to me alone, and that the rest of the people, servants and commoners, were no more than squirrels, scattering around my playground, wanting to admire all my silver, gold, and pearls. I had a 40-bedroom castle, along with a royal mule, fleets of Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, luxurious RVs, brand sparkling new. Top it off, I had a yacht in my backyard for the entire gated community to admire and see, while drooling with envy at, you guessed it, me. God, I really was a beast. Now, 70 years later, my bones are aching and I'm not in the best of health. I've lost quite a bit of my beautiful fur, and many days I'm lonely as hell. But I have no one and nothing but my grandfather's old wealth. I made the mistake of treating my money like a god and placing it on the castle's highest shelf. Funny thing about money, it won't hug you, it won't love you, it won't turn back the hands of time, excuse me. It won't replace your true friends whose lives have passed on or influence not one of your family members to spend quality time. Oh, they'll stop by with a fruitcake on holidays, but only to feel connected to the reading of the will I signed. My, for the love of money, the truth can be ugly sometimes. I often think about those people, the people outside my castle who couldn't enjoy the mere pleasures of life simply because they were broke and could not afford it. And I guess, well, I wasn't very nice. All the things I took for granted while those people were calling out to the Lord. I now sit on the second floor of this nursing home on that very same accord, crying out like they did and depending solely on the Lord. To be honest with you, I thought they were all a bunch of fools, crying and singing, asking God to help them, as if He would take the time to render any good to mere commoners. I thought they were out of their minds. I realize now that I should have helped some of those people out along the way, because it's only those people who now take the time to listen clean my bottom, give me a hug, and take the time out to pray. Some of those very people will go out of their way just to make my day. You see, helping others along the way really was the least, but because tales as old as time and songs as old as rhyme, beauty remained the beast. I've heard it said that the hoarding of wealth is the real cause of poverty. The rich aren't just indifferent to poverty, they create it and maintain it while keeping the little man down. I say to each of you today, help someone, anyone, even those people along the way, because you never know who God will use to comb your fur one day, administer balm to your wounds, massage your aching bones. That's it. And I'm going to do one more. I used to take this poem into the rehab and into the shelters and share with the, not only the women, but the men there. So the name of this one is called Cocaine Says. Wow, addiction is no joke, and it's touched everybody, somebody in all of our families. I think I could say that, Cocaine says, jump up and down. Cocaine says, you are not allowed to sit down. Cocaine says, look out the window 150 times, bug out, start looking stupid, it's paranoia time. Cocaine says. Anybody ever played Simon Says? Okay, so this is Cocaine talking to you. Cocaine says, argue with your girlfriend, make 10 more runs, and just for the heck of it, one of you pull out a gun. Nobody is out of the game yet because the fun has just begun. Ladies, are you ready? Cocaine says, leave your children home alone. 2 and 3 years old, oh yeah, they're practically grown. Don't worry about them, they'll be all right. And just to show you that I'm a nice guy, I'll be sure to have DCF stop by tonight. Men, are you ready? Because here we go again. Time for each of you to start your missions. So let the sin begin. Steal, lie, and cheat as you make your way through the streets. Make sure that you spend every dime that you get so that your family has nothing to eat. Okay, everybody. Cocaine says, lights on, lights off, lights on, lights off. Keep standing on your heads or you'll all have to pay the cost. Anybody feel like a meeting? Well, Cocaine says, hell no. I'm the leader, I'm the boss, and I run the entire show. Anybody feel like a shower? Anybody feel like a shave? Anybody high enough to believe that I would actually allow you to bathe? Well, not today, not tomorrow, but maybe in a couple of days. I don't know, I just love this game. I just love owning slaves. Excuse me, sir. But what are you doing? Taking off your ball and chain? I don't recall that command. It's not even a part of this game. The only way out is God himself. But many of you are so miserable that you won't call out for help. You're on your knees for everything else, when for God, you should be knelt. When are you people going to get it? You cannot do this by yourself. Anybody feel like going to church? Well, you must be out of your minds. There'll be no church, there'll be no praying. You're starting to get out of line. And okay, Cocaine says, down on the floor. Everybody down on the floor right now. Keep searching for more crack, even though apparently there's no more. Wait a minute, hold up. The police are at the door. Psych, everybody back on the floor. Seriously, some of you deserve medals, a certificate at the least. You really done a wonderful job chasing after this beast. Well, Cocaine says that you are all professionals at playing this notorious game. So I guess I'll have to think of some more foolishness before driving you totally insane. Cocaine says, gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Wow. All right, and next we have Laura. Are you coming back? Do any of you ladies feel like coming up?
I'll just do this one more if anybody's okay with that.
Okay. All right, come on.
Yeah. This is I don't think I've done this one here. I've done it.
I got some more.
Oh, you got some too?
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Do you want to go first and then I'll go?
Come on, Laura.
Okay. I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do this one. I had some days when I was feeling rather peaked, and I'm trying to get myself back in shape. And this one was from one of those days. It's called Ludwig, as in Ludwig van Beethoven. Ludwig, as I grow old and ugly, I surround myself with as much beauty as I can afford to muster or create. Clusters of wild birds dash across my garden, my overgrown garden, laid to waste by every crisis that only those overburdened with the privilege of old age could possibly know. While some tan during their golden years, there are those of us who are still last on the list. I am sleeping on my father's old army cot at the start of my 7th decade. With my failing eyesight, I mistook the leaves falling in the first chill of late August for butterflies. Oh, to be a child again, remembering how I felt Beethoven's suffering. Audible now from the kitchen radio, his loneliness and sorrow, and especially now, this symphonic rage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we ask Cynthia to come back up and share something with us. Let's give her a
Let's
hand.
do that.
I have some poems in here. I'm going to read you a poem that I know by heart. I wrote when I was a young person, a very young person. When I was around 20 years old, I wrote a poem called "Because I Am a Woman, I Therefore Can Believe," and it got honorable mention in an American Collegiate Poets Anthology of 1990.
Wow.
Since that time, of course, I'm much older now, and so not all of the sentiments in it I still sort of believe in, but most of it I do, but it came from a prompt that was given in a women's studies class that I took when I was an exchange student in Northern California, in Sonoma State University, 50 miles north of San Francisco. So I was visiting there for a semester, and here's the poem. Because I am a woman, I therefore can believe that I will not let myself or others be oppressed by a society run by men. In the importance of nature and its beauty. In the importance of history, for it teaches us about ourselves and our future. That if there is a God, it is a force without a moral code, one in which life is not separate but intertwined. Now I'm going to read a poem by Thomas Hardy. He's one of my favorite novelists. He wrote Tess of the D'Urbervilles. He wrote The Mayor of Casterbridge. So many different novels he's written. Jude the Obscure. He really was a brilliant writer for his time. He was born in 1840, lived till 1928. So this poem that he wrote is called A Broken Appointment. You did not come, and marching time drew on and wore me numb, yet less for loss of your dear presence there, than that I thus found lacking in your make, that high compassion which can overbear, reluctance for pure loving kindness' sake, grieved I, when as the hope hour stroked its sum, you did not come. You love not me, and love alone can lend you loyalty. I know and knew it, but unto the store of human deeds divine in all but name, was it not worth a little hour or more? To add yet this, Once you, a woman, came to soothe a time-torn man, even though it be, you love not me. Oh, The Broken Appointment by Thomas Hardy.
Oh,
All right.
Thank you. So I'm going to read another poem by Emily Dickinson. And this one is called After Great Pain, a Formal Feeling Comes. After great pain, a formal feeling comes. The nerves sit ceremonious, like tunes. The stiff heart questions, was it he that bore, and yesterday, or centuries before? The feet, mechanical, go round, of ground or air or aught. A wooden way, regardless grown, a quartz contentment like a stone. This is the hour of lead, remembered if outlived, as freezing persons recollect the snow. First, chill, then stupor, then the letting go. And then this, the last one I want to read is about Frederick Douglass, which is this one is written by a poet by the name of Robert Hayden, 1913 to 1980. This poem, somebody comments here, the poem not only celebrates Douglass, but also gives the reader a connection with the past, a promise for the future. This is Lynn Thompson, from Human Resources Manager of Los Angeles, California, who makes that comment. So this poem by Robert Hayden is called Frederick Douglass. When it is finally ours, this freedom, this liberty, this beautiful and terrible thing, needful to man as air, usable as earth when it belongs at last to all, when it is truly instinct, brain matter, diastole, systole, reflex, action, when it is finally one, when it is more than the gaudy mumbo-jumbo of politicians, this man, this Douglass, this former slave, this Negro, beaten to his knees, exiled, visioning a world where none is lonely, none hunted, alien. This man, superb in love and logic, this man shall be remembered. Oh, not with statues, rhetoric, not with legends and poems and wreaths of bronze alone, but with the lives grown out of his life, the lives fleshing his dream of the beautiful, needful thing.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
very beautiful.
I love him. He's a great poet.
Yeah, I've heard of him in with Juneteenth coming. I just thought that was a
Yeah.
good poem to read.
I'd like
Thank
to
you.
bring one of his next time that I know. That's
Oh.
one of my favorites of his.
Yeah, oh, that would be great. Yeah, he's an excellent poet. I mean, that's the first I've heard of him. So.
Oh, he's wonderful. Even more
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that.
So at this time, I'm gonna do, two of my phone poems, and then I'm going to do something that I put together for an organization, and I've asked that she not stream this because I have not shared it with them yet, but I'm gonna test it out and use. It's a little graphic, but it's life, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let me see. Oh, no. first one is called I Got Robbed. Has anybody seen my phone? Because I really can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. Told you I got robbed.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, okay, all right.
Got it, yeah.
Can I have it, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's the next one that you want me to.
I'm gonna do two of my phones and then I'll.
Okay, then we'll do that, okay.
All right. 911, how can we be of service to you? Yes, can someone please help me? I've been robbed. She knocked me down when I was not looking and forbid me to call on God. Okay, ma'am, can you calm down and give us a description and give us your name? My name is Mrs. Sick and Tired of all this freaking pain. Just sick and tired of spending my days crying down memory lane. Anyways, ma'am, can you tell me exactly what this perpetrator stole? I sure can. She stole my passion for life, my happiness. This perpetrator stole my soul. Well, ma'am, do you know this perpetrator? Can we get a description of the thief? She's brown skinned. She's approximately 5 feet 2 inches, brown eyes, and a messed up hairdo. Well, ma'am, that's a pretty accurate description of this thief. Do you know this person? Did you two ever have a beef? All the time. I'm looking at the woman in the mirror right now in total disbelief. I got robbed. One is called The Main Line. Worldwide operator, Angelica speaking. Can I help you? Yes, can I please have area code 123 Infinity? I've been trying to reach the King of Kings, the master of my destiny. I've been going through hell and high water, and I'm afraid that he has forgotten all about me. Now hold on, ma'am, while I put you through. To be honest, he has been trying to get a hold of you too. Suddenly, with a voice like thunder, God answered my call. He sounded so majestic, so valiant, I found myself in great awe. He said, "Hello, my child. What can I do for you?" I sent so many messengers, but they were unable to get through. You would not step out on faith and take the train, the plane, or the boat. These vessels I sent special delivery to offer you great hope. I know that you have been going through the fire, but understand that you will not get burned. I know that situations get hot, hard, and painful, but these are life lessons that you still must learn. Trust me, I never sleep nor slumber, for your life is my very concern. You see, I made you special, shaped and molded you with my hands. You're unique, you're wonderfully made. In you, I place great plans. Understand there is no other like you, not one in all the land, who has the gifts and talents, and I alone hold the master plan. Satan may make things appear to be an out of control mess, but don't worry, my child, because for you, I have blessed. The Main Line. You know, it's just amazing because I wrote so many of these poems so long ago. You would think that, you know, to me they're old, but, you know, for people to still enjoy them, I guess that's the way books go.
Oh, absolutely. It's timeless. Poetry's timeless. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to end now. Thank you for watching, everyone.